Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well, and as usual, I thank you for joining me here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, please do that, and also like and share this video. You can find me on Instagram at dainellespeakstv, on Facebook at Dainelle Lewis, and of course on YouTube at dainellespeakstv. Blessings everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about Jamaican folklore. All right, let's get into it.
Sun a shine, but things not bright. Do a pot a boil, bickle not enough. River flood and rain a fall. Rain a fall, but dirty tough. Nowadays the time so hard. When you ask Maddie how them do, them afraid you take it, tell them back so them not answer you. No care how much we da work for hard times, still in our shot. We da fight, our time a beat we. They might raise we wages, but £1 gone and pound we pay and we not feel no merriment. For £10 gone and pound we food and £10 pound we rent. Saltfish gone up, mackerel gone up, beef and pork gone up same way. And when rice and butter ready, them just go up a holiday.
Folklore is the traditional stories and beliefs that are passed down in a society from generation to generation, mostly through word of mouth. Jamaican folklore involves many spirits of mythical creatures that haunt people for various reasons. Folklore is extremely important to our society because of the diverse functions that these tales serve. Folktales offer an exciting escape from reality and allow new generations to learn and adapt to the beliefs and cultures of those before them. Another function of some Jamaican folklore is to discipline children and the secret enjoyment that is gained from scaring them with exciting creatures. Folklore like the Anansi Stories originated in Ghana, West Africa, and were brought to Jamaica by the Ashantislaves. From these early beginnings, various stories have been passed down from generation to generation and have established themselves as an integral part of Jamaican culture. Children learn about them in schools, and families continue to pass them down through oral traditions.
Twang by Louise Bennett Coverley. Me glad to see you come back, boy, but lad, you let me down. Me shame you subtle, all of me proudness drop a ground. You really go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back. Not a piece better than how you did go away. Boy, you not shame, it's so you come after your tan so long. Not even little language, boy. Not even little swung. And your sister, what work only 1 week with American. She talks so nice now that we have to deduce to understand. Boy, you couldn't improve yourself and you get so much here. You spend 6 months of foreign and come back ugly. Same way. Not even a drapes trousers, boy. Or a pass to read him quotes. Not even a gold teeth. Or a gold chain round your throat. Suppose me last me pass go introduce you to one stranger. As me lamented son who lately come from American. Them woulda laugh after me, boy. Me couldn't tell them so. Them woulda say me lie. You was a spend time back Moko. No back chat me, boy. You chat too bad. Shut up your mouth. I don't know how you and your papa go and make it up. But if you want please him, make him think say you bring back something new. You always call him pa. This evening when him come, say poo.
Believe it or not, however, Jamaican folk tales are slowly becoming forgotten in today's society. This is a result of the rise in multitudes of new entertainment, including television and the internet. In the past, Folktales were used by our ancestors for entertainment, and a leader or storyteller, who was often the eldest in the village, would describe these interesting legends to his listeners. Jamaica has a culture rich with folktales that you might or might not know about. Very prominent figures include the rolling calf, Old Higg, Duppies, the rivermumma, the golden table, Anansi Stories, Anipama. Let's get into these folklore in more details. The rolling calf is a story about a menacing bull haunting the countryside at night. Like all Duppies, the creature can shape-shift, but is most often seen in the form of a bull or goat with 3 hooves and a human leg. It has blazing red eyes, a foul stench, and a chain around its neck that drags on the ground that signals its arrival. The rolling calf is so feared throughout the Caribbean that legendary maroon warriors used to tell stories of the creature to their children in order to test their bravery or keep them quiet. Old Higg is the story of an old witch or a sorceress who enjoys human and preys especially on infants. Old Higg preys whilst people are sleeping, flying in the form of an owl, shedding her skin and sucking their breath. It is also believed that Old Higg figure contributed to the retention of keeping knife nights in Jamaica when a baby was born, ensuring that mother and infant will not be troubled by Old Higg in the future. She is also present in West Africa among the Yoruba and other societies in the diaspora. Duppies are restless spirits that were once alive like you and me. Though there are good and bad spirits, the Duppy is seen as malevolent because the good spirits cannot be seen. The good spirit is sometimes referred to as ancestral spirits, who are believed to be dead family members who still take an interest in the life of family members. The Duppy is seen as the unnamed, unhappy, and restless dead human who is capable of doing harm. The Duppy can linger around or be summoned by an obeah man or woman from the graveyard to do harm in exchange for payment, especially rum. Duppies are said to live at the roots of cotton trees and bamboo thickets, from where they emerge in night or day. The rivermumma, a female spirit lurking at the source of Jamaican river. Legend says that rivermumma inhabits the rivers of Jamaica, and all the fish are rivermumma's children. Sometimes people say rivermumma rises out of the river to sit on the rocks and comb her long black hair. But like they say, don't touch rivermumma. Don't even look at her. There's no telling what she will try to do if you do. Some say if you so much as see her, you'll fall into a trance and she'll grab you by the heels and drag you under the river. If you try to catch her, the fish will disappear. The river will run dry. It's best, they say, not to make trouble with the rivermumma. The golden table, the mesmerizing golden table that lures innocent victims to the bottom of the river. Once upon a time ago, in the deepest blue river on the land of a great sugar estate, the foreman saw that table rise. So he chained a team of oxen to it. "Pull!" he cried, and he snapped his whip across his oxen's backs. Pull! They pulled, and they pulled 12 muscular, broad-backed oxen. But that golden table simply pulled all of the animal, the yokes and chains into the river, all the way to the bottom. It is said that the rivermumma protects and guides that golden table. Anansi Stories, stories surrounding Jamaica's resident man, or rather spider or mischief. This video wouldn't be right without telling you an Anansi story. This is the story of how Anansi, a little boy, became a spider. There was once an African king who had the finest ram in the world. When this ram happened to be grazing on Anansi's crops one day, Anansi threw a rock at it, hitting it between the eyes and killing it. Anansi knew that the king would punish him for what he had done to the prize ram, and he immediately schemed how to get out of the situation. Needless to say, Anansi resorted to trickery as always. First, he took the dead ram and tied it to the nut tree. Then he went to a spider and told it of a wonderful tree laden with nuts. The spider was delighted and immediately went to the tree. Anansi then went to the king and told him that the spider had evidently killed the prize ram. The ram was hanging from a tree where the spider was spinning webs. The king flew into a rage and demanded the death penalty for the spider. The king thanked Anansi and offered him a great reward. Anansi returned to the spider and warned it of the king's wrath. Crying out to the world the spider had killed the ram, the spider was very confused. Anansi told the spider to go to the king and plead for mercy, and perhaps the spider's life would be spared. Meanwhile, the king had gone home for lunch and told his wife what happened. The wife just laughed and said, "Have you lost your mind? How on earth could a little spider make a thread strong enough to hold a ram? How in the world could that little spider hoist the ram up there? Don't you know Anansi obviously killed your ram? By now you should know he's a trickster." The king was angry that he had been deceived and told his court to fetch Anansi immediately. When the king's men came for him, Anansi assumed that it was to bring him to the palace for his reward for turning in the spider. So Anansi went along willingly. He walked into the palace as if he owned the place and then said to the king, "Well, what is my reward for the killer of your ram?" The enraged king had so much anger that he kicked Anansi very, very hard, splitting him into two pieces. He was no longer a man, but a spider with long legs. Anipama, the White Witch of Rose Hall, the woman haunting the Rose Hall Great House that can still be visited to this day. She was accused of murdering her black slave lovers among many other heinous crimes. According to the legend, the spirit of Annie Palmer haunts the grounds of Rose Hall Plantation near Montego Bay. The story is that she was born in Haiti to an English mother and an Irish father and spent most of her life in Haiti. When her parents died of yellow fever, she was adopted by a nanny who taught her witchcraft and voodoo. She moved to Jamaica and married John Palmer, owner of the Rose Hall Plantation. Annie murdered Palmer along with two subsequent husbands and numerous male plantation slaves, later being murdered herself by a slave named Taku. A song about the legend called The Ballad of Annie Palmer was recorded by Johnny Cash. For many years, Cash owned the nearby Cinnamon Hill Great House. There are a few Jamaican writers who seek to preserve the culture. One of those persons is Martha Warren Beckwith. She wrote a book entitled Jamaica Anansi Stories. We also have Louise Simone Bennett Coverley, affectionately known as Miss Lou. She's a Jamaican folklorist, writer, an educator, and she was also Jamaica's cultural ambassador. She appeared in pantomime productions of The Witch, which was surrounding the legend of Annie Palmer, and she wrote Anansi and Pandora in 1949. We also have Joan Andrea Hutchinson. She also wrote Anansi stories like Anansi and Auntie Joan. I thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves. One love.
Cloth, boot, pin and needle gone up. Ice bread taxes, water rate, kerosene, oil, gasoline gone up. And the pound devaluate. The price of bread gone up so high that we have to agree to cut we hype and bread and all turn dumpling refugee. And all them magas maddy, whether go on like fatty sin, all them they whether fast with me, I left them to dumpling. Sun a shine and pot a boil, but things not bright. Bickle not enough. River flood, rain a fall, but water scarce and dirty tough. Oh, yeah.